Alright, so in this video, I'd like to discuss why I believe Palantir is probably the most unique stock opportunity that you'll have in a very long time. And when I say unique, you can also bet that I'm talking about it from an ROI perspective. Think Apple or Tesla returns from investing in the stock. And yeah, I know that's a pretty bold claim to think that basically a $15 data mining company's stock could see incredibly massive returns in the future, but please hear me out, as Palantir truly is unlike any other company I've ever seen. In short though, Palantir is a data mining company that uses artificial intelligence to make sense of different siloed data sources. So imagine you're a government agency or a commercial business that still relies on legacy systems and has terabytes of unused data on your customers that's just sitting in servers collecting dust. So, what if you had the power to fetch all of that data from every single one of those servers and bring it directly into a single source with a tool specifically designed to analyze and detect patterns in your data that could save you hundreds of millions of dollars every year by being both more efficient with your company's costs and understanding each of your customers down to a T? Well, in short, that's exactly what Palantir does. And in my opinion, they are currently the very best at what they do, even being trusted by government agencies that deal with incredibly sensitive and classified data. I mean, it's no wonder that companies that can actually afford it pay Palantir hundreds of millions of dollars for multi-year contracts with them. And back to the stock, I think if you had the chance to pick this up when shares were sub $10, you are now sitting in an incredibly nice position. But even if you haven't had the chance to pick it up, I still think that's okay, because I honestly think this is just the beginning with this stock. You see, Palantir is already well ahead of its competition by providing some insanely comprehensive big data analysis solutions for governments and businesses that no other companies can truly compete with on Palantir's level. Palantir is, after all, at the cutting edge of AI, and its artificial intelligence platform that they're calling AIP should elevate the company to a whole new level in the next few years. Therefore, I think we could definitely see Palantir beat consensus analyst revenue growth and EPS expectations, leading to better than expected growth, higher than anticipated profitability, and a much higher stock price in the coming years. Which brings me to why I think Palantir could go much higher in the long term. You see, Palantir has made a remarkable jump with all the AI talk recently. The company's stock surged 100% since May alone. However, to be honest, the recent rally was mainly just a near-term reaction move, and Palantir's stock likely has more upside in the intermediate and long term, despite all these price fluctuations. And another thing to keep in mind too is that Palantir is seeing some unprecedented demand with their product. So let me explain. Like I've mentioned, Palantir is an incredibly unique company. The most basic way to describe this phenomenon is that while Palantir has many competitors, very few of these companies offer comprehensive big data analytics tools like Palantir. Various companies with different target markets provide products and services that may compete with Palantir in one way or another. However, Palantir provides a complete package, you could say, and no one else does. Therefore, Palantir can charge around $140,000 for its Gotham platform because, well, their software is just that valuable to the market, and they definitely know that. You see, Palantir works with various critical government agencies and many Fortune 500 companies. Moreover, Palantir's products and services are well worth the high price tag to these entities, as the company's unique software helps solve problems that could cost far more. So, in a way, you could say that Palantir is a monopolistic style company operating in a blue ocean atmosphere, implying enormous growth perspectives and substantial profit potential ahead. And this actually makes perfect sense because, after all, one of Palantir's founders, Peter Thiel, has always said that from a business perspective, companies should strive for monopoly.
If you have a unique business that does something nobody else is doing, you have something that is a monopoly, at least for a while. And my claim is that everybody who is a founder, an entrepreneur, an investor, an early employee in these companies, you always want to aim for monopoly.
Or in other words, be the very best in the market, to the point where the only obvious choice is to go with said company. However, let's also not forget that the world is a very dangerous place. And when there's conflict, you can bet that Palantir will play a part in solving it. You see, software developed by Palantir has enabled the speed, accuracy, and deadliness of the Ukraine artillery strikes to improve dramatically. Palantir's AI-powered solutions have even enabled the Ukrainians to keep Russia at bay, with Russia's artillery warfare being more akin to something we saw on the battlefields 100 years ago. And in stark comparison, the Ukrainian army fights an objectively more efficient war due to the help from Palantir and artificial intelligence. I mean, we see Palantir on the front lines of real-world conflict all the time, whether you realize it or not. And Palantir is even closely linked to the CIA, which, believe it or not, was an early investor in the company. Additionally, Palantir works very closely with many prominent government agencies and has the trusted stamp of approval from the US government. Palantir works with the FBI, NSA, CIA, and other critical government agencies. Therefore, Palantir should continue increasing revenues and expanding market share as the company advances in the coming years. And of course, Palantir keeps reeling in the contracts. Despite some economic slowdown, US commercial and government revenue growth increased considerably in the company's latest earnings announcement, which was Q1 of 2023. US commercial revenue growth came in at 26%, while US government-related revenues increased by 22% year over year. Moreover, Palantir continues closing deals. Even recently, Palantir was rewarded a US Special Operations Command contract worth $463 million. And Palantir should continue expanding government and commercial-related revenues in the US and abroad. Moreover, the company's revenue growth rate could increase as the economy recovers from the temporary slowdown and as we continue to see AI-related demand increase in the coming years. And even when it comes to Palantir's commercial segment, I still believe there's a huge amount of potential. While it's true that Palantir works with many government agencies, its potential on the commercial side is almost limitless in some respects. Palantir's retail customer count surged by 52% year over year in Q1, and the company's total customer count, government and commercial, increased by 41%. Also, nearly $200 million of the company's $525 million in revenue came from outside the US last quarter, and I think this dynamic illustrates that Palantir has significant growth potential in the US and substantial growth prospects outside the US. Now, all that being said, just like any stock, there are some risks with Palantir. The most significant near-term risk may be a temporarily high valuation and overbought technical conditions. Also, Palantir's earnings could come in lower than expected, and its revenue growth could be less than anticipated. Furthermore, if Palantir's growth picture turned less bullish, the stock could correct significantly from the current levels we're seeing now. And additionally, if for whatever reason Palantir lost favor with the government or had a data breach, the stock could experience a considerable decline. Also, I think it's important to note that AI is still in the early stages of development right now, and there's no guarantees that Palantir's AI program will be successful, despite all the great words from their CEO Alex Karp. Therefore, I do think it's important to consider all of these risks before investing in Palantir. But these are all just what-if scenarios, and I think for the long term, Palantir is an incredible company at an incredible value. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about this company, then you'll want to check out this video right here, where I go over something completely unexpected that happened with Palantir that you won't want to miss. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.